This is 9 News Now.
Occupy D.C. protesters clashed with U.S. Park Police. Several people have been arrested. The standoff at McPherson Square continues at this hour. Hello, I'm Bruce Johnson. Thanks for joining us this Sunday. Until now, it had been a fair afternoon. Park Police moved on to McPherson Square after Occupy D.C. protesters refused to vacate a prefab structure they were building for the winter. They didn't have a permit for that structure. Armando Trull is live at the scene downtown. Armando, what's going on right now?
Well, right now, those protesters are being removed by police, and they say that they built that structure in the middle of McPherson Square Park to represent a place of shelter for the 99% of Americans they say have been displaced by this country's economic policies. U.S. Park Police did not see it that way. U.S. Park Police arrested about half a dozen protesters earlier in the day when they tried to join the 20 or so occupiers already inside the structure, which sprung up overnight at McPherson Square.
Let the world know that America arrests people who put up structures, not the ones who are kicking families out of their structures.
This morning, U.S. Park Police and D.C. Police surrounded the structure and closed off the area as they made preparations to remove the occupiers.
We're a peaceful, nonviolent movement, and we don't intend to put up any. We're just going to sit, and they're going to do what they want to do.
You don't represent us.
Some of the homeless people who live in McPherson Square Park poo-pooed the occupiers.
They just want to be on TV. They ain't homeless. They got a place to stay. They don't represent us. Please don't put us out of park because of them.
Moments ago, U.S. Park Police moved in on the nearly 24 Occupy D.C. protesters who had been sitting in and on top of a structure they built in the middle of McPherson Square Park. And right now you are looking at a live image of the few remaining protesters that are still on top of the structure. As we said, all of the protesters that were below have been removed, and now U.S. Park Police are getting ready to take care of the few folks that are there. Part of the reason is that they don't want to knock them off of that structure and hurt them. And I have to say, Bruce, that U.S. Park Police have been very restrained, because even though we did show you some of the scuffling going on, no one has been seriously hurt. And even though all of the officers were equipped with pepper spray, no pepper spray has been deployed or used at this point. Reporting live, I'm Armando Trull. Bruce, back to you.
Okay, Armando, thanks a lot. Compared to what's going on in other cities, a lot of people saying it's been quite peaceful here in D.C. Now, if you're planning on heading downtown tonight, you'll want to know if streets around the area are blocked, and more importantly, what this could mean for your morning commute. Let's go back down to McPherson Square with Lindsay Masters. Lindsay?
Hey, Bruce, I've been in middle of the square until just a few minutes ago. There are still 6 people sitting on top of the structure, and what's happening right now is that there is an armored vehicle that the police are moving in. A lot of the protesters are calling it a cherry picker, and they're talking about how they're going to be able to remove these people from the roof. One of the police officers started to climb up, realized there was really no safe way to get these protesters down. That's when those vehicles started moving in. And I want to tell you something about the way it works over here at Occupy D.C. What they do is they say mic check. Everyone repeats mic check, and that's how they get their messages across. So I can tell you that there's been a lot of talk and a lot of messages that are being repeated that not everyone agrees with the fact that this is happening. Some people say that it's taking attention away from some of the other things that they're doing here in the park, and that it might jeopardize everyone else who has been living here in McPherson Square. They're worried that this could actually cause everyone in the park to be moved out. So there is some debate going on between people who are here at McPherson Square. Bruce, back to you.
Lindsay, quick question. I see some traffic moving behind you, but I also see police cars blocking some other roadway. What does it look down there for people that are trying to get, through that area?
Well, this area historically on a Sunday night is usually not very busy, and even with these roads that are blocked off, it seems to be that traffic is moving through. People are just having to go a few blocks around, and you have to know that this might actually change throughout the night, because some of these DC Occupy protesters are talking about, after this is over, moving down to the White House and protesting there. So it is a possibility that even though traffic's coming through now, there might be a problem later on tonight, and of course we'll monitor this for you for the rest of the evening.
Okay, Lindsay Masters reporting from McPherson Square, and obviously we're going to have complete updates coming up for you tonight at 11. Moving along.